In recent months, concerns about former President Donald Trump's cognitive health have intensified. Notably, Dr. Lance Dodds, a retired professor from Harvard Medical School, described the evidence of Trump's dementia as overwhelming. Similarly, Harry Siegel, a senior lecturer at Cornell University, interpreted Trump's unexpected decision to play DJ at a Philadelphia rally as a clear sign of mental decline. These concerns are further underscored by Trump's recent actions. On March 22, 2025, he signed a memorandum aimed at preventing abuses within the legal system and federal courts. Additionally, he issued an executive order directing the dismantling of the Department of Education, aiming to return control over education to states and local communities. Furthermore, Trump revoked security clearances for prominent Democrats, including President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, citing national interest. It's crucial to approach discussions about a public figure's health with sensitivity and reliance on verified information. All content presented in this video has been meticulously checked and validated by professionals. For a comprehensive understanding, please refer to the links provided in the description section. Before diving into the concerns surrounding Donald Trump's cognitive health, it's important to first understand what dementia actually is. Dementia is a broad term that describes a range of symptoms affecting cognitive function, including memory loss, impaired reasoning, and behavioral changes. It is not a single disease but rather a syndrome caused by various underlying conditions, most commonly neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Dementia significantly impacts a person's ability to think clearly, make decisions, and perform daily activities, often leading to a progressive loss of independence. The prevalence of dementia is a growing global concern. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, an estimated 55 million people worldwide currently live with dementia, and nearly 10 million new cases emerge each year. In the United States, the Alzheimer's Association reports that over 6 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease, the most common form of dementia. This number is expected to rise dramatically in the coming decades, potentially reaching 13 million by 2050. With the increasing number of cases, dementia is projected to place an enormous financial strain on the U.S. healthcare system, with costs estimated to surpass $1 trillion by mid-century. Although dementia is often linked to aging, it is not a normal part of getting older. While mild forgetfulness is common with age, dementia involves persistent and progressive cognitive decline that interferes with daily life. Recognizing the early warning signs is crucial for timely diagnosis and management. When considering whether a public figure might be experiencing cognitive decline, it's essential to be aware of the common symptoms of dementia. Some of the most frequently observed signs include memory loss that disrupts daily life, such as forgetting recent conversations, appointments, or important dates. Difficulty finding words or communicating thoughts clearly, leading to frequent pauses, repetition, or incomplete sentences. Challenges with problem-solving and decision-making, making everyday tasks, like managing finances or following a recipe, more difficult. Disorientation in time and space, where individuals may forget where they are, how they got there, or what day it is. Visual and spatial difficulties, such as struggling to judge distances, recognize faces, or navigate familiar places. Sudden mood or personality changes, including increased irritability, anxiety, paranoia, or depression. Problems with motor functions, which can lead to coordination issues, unsteady walking, or increased risk of falls. It is important to differentiate between normal age-related forgetfulness and dementia. While occasional memory lapses are normal, symptoms that persist and progressively worsen over time should not be ignored. When evaluating the mental fitness of public figures, especially political leaders, ethical considerations must be taken into account. While politicians and world leaders are subject to intense public scrutiny, diagnosing someone without a formal medical evaluation can be both misleading and irresponsible. This is why mental health professionals follow the Goldwater rule, a guideline established by the American Psychiatric Association, APA, in 1973. This rule explicitly prohibits psychiatrists from diagnosing a public figure without conducting an in-person examination and obtaining proper consent. The Goldwater rule was introduced after a controversial incident in 1964, when over 1,000 psychiatrists publicly speculated about presidential candidate Barry Goldwater's mental health without ever evaluating him personally. Despite these ethical restrictions, mental health experts can still analyze observable behaviors and patterns of speech for signs that warrant concern. Since public officials hold enormous responsibilities, their cognitive health can have direct consequences on national and global decision-making. While no professional diagnosis can be made from a distance, tracking noticeable changes in speech, memory, and behavior over time can offer insight into a leader's mental fitness. Over the past several years, multiple mental health experts, journalists, and political analysts have expressed concerns about Donald Trump's cognitive abilities. Among them is Dr. John Gardner, a psychologist who previously taught at Johns Hopkins University Medical School. Dr. Gardner has publicly stated that Trump exhibits signs of accelerating dementia, citing noticeable changes in his speech patterns, memory, and behavior. A report from the New Republic further suggests that Trump appears less articulate and more prone to rambling compared to his earlier years in politics. Researchers analyzed his 2015 campaign speeches and compared them to his recent 2024 rally appearances, identifying a decline in coherence, vocabulary, and sentence structure over time. In addition, Dr. Lance Dodds, a former Harvard Medical School professor, has pointed out that Trump shows increasing difficulty in retrieving words, completing complex thoughts, and recalling basic information. These are all potential signs of cognitive decline. However, while some experts believe these observations point to a legitimate concern, it is crucial to acknowledge that cognitive changes can stem from multiple factors, including stress, fatigue, and natural aging. Without an official medical diagnosis, all conclusions about Trump's cognitive health remain speculative. Beyond expert analysis, Trump's recent public actions and statements have raised eyebrows. One notable example occurred at a recent rally, where Trump repeatedly claimed that the U.S. should consider adding Canada as the 51st state. While some dismissed the statement as a joke, others viewed it as a sign of confusion or memory lapse. Additionally, many media outlets, including Mediaite and HuffPost, have pointed out Trump's increasingly erratic interactions with the press. He has frequently snapped at reporters, struggled to complete sentences, and veered off topic mid-speech. Some observers argue that these behaviors align with the typical patterns seen in individuals experiencing cognitive decline. That said, interpreting public behavior can be complex. Various factors, including stress, political strategy, or even deliberate rhetoric choices, could contribute to Trump's actions. This is why making definitive claims about cognitive decline based solely on public behavior remains a matter of debate. At this point, the question of whether Donald Trump is suffering from dementia remains unanswered, as no formal medical diagnosis has been provided. While experts have raised concerns and certain behavioral patterns suggest cognitive decline, only a thorough professional evaluation could confirm or refute these claims. However, the conversation about the cognitive health of political leaders is not without merit. Given the high stakes of leadership, it is reasonable for the public to question whether elected officials remain mentally sharp enough to make sound decisions. If concerns persist, the most transparent and responsible course of action would be for Trump, or any leader facing similar scrutiny, to undergo a professional cognitive assessment and publicly disclose the results, as some past U.S. presidents have done. As always, discussions about health, especially when it concerns public figures, should be approached with caution, responsibility, and respect. All references and sources used in this video can be found in the description section for further reading.